You guys, here it is. Huge thank you to Eric Briggs, one of my subscribers. Huge thank you. Check this out. Now, I know that Eric didn't actually design this. I guess he had a coworker do it. But this is the first one. And they look really darn close. There's Eric. There he is. Look at that. Looks really darn close. Hey, Brandon. Check it. So this is just prototype, not perfect. So we can see right here that there's some show through. Go watch after. Okay, thanks, Leonard. So Eric, a spot like that for show through, I would say make it internally thicker. Yeah, it's green. Actually, so what I need to do is I need to keep a list of improvements that we might do. So here, hang on. So we need to keep a list of improvements, and I forgot a piece of paper. I was gonna get a piece of paper here. Good enough. So everybody can see. Actually, I don't have the other phone on. Hang on a second. Let me get this other phone going. I can see what you guys are saying. Come on, come on. So let's see. So we've got that's that. Original. Some large sleeves I made. There we go. You two are going to be rich. Hello. There we go. Let's make sure I'm live. I'm live. We're good. Okay. James is here. Tim's here. Nikki, Barry, Brandon, Larry, Eric. This is exciting. Let me go put these away. Hang on a second. Okay. Still haven't heard about the small rods. Just waiting on those to have toolkits available. Okay, so let's make a list here of, let's make a wish list of improvements for the next prototype. So let's see, for argument's sake, let's call this side the right side. Or starboard, and this is port. This is left. So I just wanted to go over this with Eric so he can see this live as far as, you know, what we can potentially do to make this better. So right off the bat, I see if it's at all possible to make it orange or black. I don't know, but let's say orange. Well, my tools work on a husky concrete saw. Yes, So right off the bat, orange would be good. On the right-hand side, well, the other thing, so orange and then the inserts. Let's nix the inserts here. The bolts. Let's see here. Too wobbly. So I would say nix the inserts. That sits there fine on the outside. That sits there fine too. So make these holes compatible with 5mm. Green is unique. Yeah. Maybe we could keep it green. I don't know. If it's green, there's nothing wrong with that. Just thinking. Right. Looking for a measurement. Yeah, so this is slightly under 5mm. So if you make it slightly over 5mm for the bolt hole here, then we'll be good. And you don't need to have the slight recess here. So 5mm bolt holes and no carb side recess. Okay, so we have two areas of specific show through on the right side. One is right at this internal angle here. And the internal angle just doesn't need to be 90 degrees, or even, this is actually acute. It's actually slightly less than 90. This can be actually chamfered so that it's all rounded in there. That hole, can be bulked out from over here to over here, which there's a significant area of show through. I don't see anything wrong with bulking that out a bit. Hey, Ken. Hey, David. So that area of show through, bulk out. This area, basically anywhere that there's a line here. Terry, I'm not even worried about airflow. Airflow is a completely different issue here, and I think that with all the space internally, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Or are you referring it's better airflow to come through the side? No. So this depression here on this left side just doesn't need to be there. It can just be bulked out, certainly. The real question, though, like you were saying, is the back here is a little bit on the thin side. Is there space on the chassis to accommodate that? Have to check for that. To accommodate for bulking out externally as opposed to bulking out internally. Weather is steady here. Some rain. I guess we're getting rain later. So, all right. So we've gone over the areas of show through. So we got to get rid of the show through. The next question will be the actual overall height. This is the prototype for 394. 395 already has an Airhorn that you can buy still. You can buy this Airhorn in a 395 configuration with a 4mm bolt hole. You cannot buy the 394 version. That's the problem. I think this is ABS, Ken. It's pretty hard. Yeah. So, Eric, for the support, On the right side, looks like it's fine. I don't know if you could bulk that out anymore. I don't think there's really any point. Yeah, I don't think there's any point. Um, on the left side, though, this support that's in here, let's see. I don't know why it's more or less centered. It should be off to the side in both cases. That way there's enough land here for the pylon, effectively, if you want, whatever, you know. For the meantime, to take up that space, Ken, this certainly looks like full density. I don't see any hollowness to this. So I need to cut that. Oh yes, super minor adjustments. This is really good right off the bat. In fact, I think this is going to run right off the bat. There's roughness here. Way not sleeve the mounting flange. What are you talking about, Tim? You're talking crazy talk, Tim. Oh, why not sleeve the mounting flange? You can, but it adds extra cost, and those pieces are 3D printing the exactness of that would be tricky. I would probably have to literally design some type of reamer to go in there and ream that out perfectly to fit those sleeves. And this is, I don't care how big of a gorilla you are, that would be kind of hard to bugger. So for today, I think I'm going to use the red pieces, the carburetor spacers, for here. Yeah, Tim's crazy. It's okay. Okay. Right. If we really have trouble with cracking on these, then I guess it would make sense to for sure sleeve them. But the 395 ones are not sleeved. They use a smaller bolt, M4 instead of M5, but they're not sleeved. There's a lot of material here. All right, right off the bat, she don't fit. Slightly. The mounting holes, the width of the mounting holes is perfect. So that's not a problem. Make sure your arm is calibrated. Yeah, it's essentially the same. Look at the emission. Yeah, the emission cap is the same. All right, so let's see if it fits up against the carburetor. Now I got to find the carburetor. What the heck did I do with all this stuff? I don't know. Okay. Where are my long carb mounting bolts? Here we go. 1, 2. So let's just see if she fits. Actually, I'm gonna get these. Oh, come on. Oh, I guess that sleeve is wrong. Whoops. Looks like a pretty darn perfect fit to me. With the exception of that play. That's just because I don't have the inserts in there. That's what she got. I'm now she. I'm the EPA version. Need one of those for my 272. Aaron, this is a prototype for 394. Believe me, stuff like that is definitely a thought on the horizon as far as what to do. But I got to get this product going first, you know. But that 272, you're right. You know, the issue with the 272, I don't think is finding the horn. I think it's finding the darn filters. Aaron, keep looking. If you can find a 272 high top air horn and get it to me, then I will definitely consider stocking that, okay? Matt, what is the OD of the inserts? Ken, we did the, I don't have the inserts with me. Where did I shipped them to Larry. Larry, you have them. Where's Larry? I gave them back to Larry. Yeah, Aaron, let me get, and welcome, Aaron. Let me get this going first, and then we'll see where we end up. Yeah, Barry, I know. That's why we're in a bit of a hurry here. It's going to be huge. I know. Larry, can you pull out one of those metal inserts? I know that I measured them a number of videos back. Can somebody either go to one of those, that video, whatever that was, and find the actual dimensions of the inserts, because I did measure them? Or Larry, if you can pull one insert out and measure them. Yeah, Barry, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Doing all the parts doesn't make sense, but certainly doing a lot of the more popular ones might. The thing is, I haven't gotten a bill from Eric yet, so I don't know what this is going to cost. Larry, just the metal insert. Okay, so it seems to fit fine to the carburetor, but it does not want to sit down between the goalposts here. So I can either grind on the goalposts, or I can grind on this, and maybe both. Does the choke operate clear? Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Even if I push this to its extent of the play, it still operates. That's fine. So I gotta grind. Let me see if I can grind on this to make enough room between the goalposts. Aaron, where'd you find that filter? The filters are impossible to find, or at least that's my understanding. eBay. Almost. All right, it's now, well, here. Problem is, on this darn model, I actually ground down the goalposts a bit. So that kind of skews whatever's going on. Eric, the bottom here is hitting for some reason. Eric, the bottom here is hitting for some reason. The radius comes in earlier on this one, probably by like 1/4 of an inch. So what happens is right here, sorry, let's see. Right here is where it knocks. So the radius needs to come in significantly earlier. Otherwise, this ain't gonna fit. Hey, Georgie. Yep, just a prototype. Still want it to work, damn it. So it hits right here. Ken, the problem with this is you can't just have a reamer internally. It also has to have a lip on it and then a stop. So it would be a considerably complex tool that would have to be specifically designed for doing just that. You need a flush stop. You need a to cut a flange and to cut the internal diameter. Right here, the wall is thin, I think. I'm gonna cut this down until it fits, basically. Thanks for doing that, Larry. I know I have the dimensions elsewhere. I measured it myself a number of videos back, but for anybody that needs the dimensions, there they are. Dreamland Life. What's going on, man? Hey, Larry, I've got the dimensions. I just don't have them right this second, you know? Well, it smells like chainsaw plastic when I cut it. No, you cannot 3D print the intake block. That's glass reinforced. You don't want to 3D print that. You could, but I that's not something I would recommend. Yeah, I'd say if... Actually, can I mark this somehow? I'd say if I can get this part out of the way enough, it'll fit. But now I need something to mark this. I don't see light through it yet. I don't know about stars, Ken. But you're welcome just the same. This is ABS plastic. So ABS plastic is essentially the same as all the regular Husqvarna chainsaw chassis are made out of anyway. The 350 chassis, I think, is ABS plastic. The intake block is complex. There are metal inserts. There's other metal pieces. I don't know. For at least for a 394 block, I don't think you can do it. So I'm really just trying to fit this prototype in here, just to see if it's possible. James, did I go to the hardware auction? I did not, but my dad might have gotten to it this afternoon. I don't know. It's possible. Oh, I see. Hang on. Still not seeing light, so silver. Hey, Craig. This is exciting here. We have the prototype. I'm working on it. Craig, it looks really good. There are definitely some fitment issues, but it looks good, you know? What time is it here? 4:13 in the afternoon. Okay, I see where it's getting thin now. But at this edge, it's not, so I can keep... course, why am I doing all this when I've got the actual piece right here? Hang on a second. Old farts and windbags. Yeah, good. Apparently, there's a lot of those. Anyway, this one doesn't have the pylons ground down at all. So let's see how far off this is. So for those people that are just arriving, this is a 3D printed Airhorn prototype for a 394 XP. These are no longer made. So Eric Briggs is responsible for getting this designed and printed. And my part of the deal here is doing the fitment. Well, the reason that these parts are desirable is if you want to convert your 394 to high top, then this is really the only way to do it. The filter and the high top are both available, so you can buy the air filter and the filter cover separately, still brand new, no problem. But you can't buy this. So if you want to convert your 394 to high top right now, what you have to do is either take a 395 horn and try to bugger it, and it really doesn't come out good, or you have to convert the cylinder head over to 395, and that's a job. So it would be a whole lot nicer if people can just, do it this way. So it sure looks like, this is a stock 394 carburetor base. So what I should do is grind on this to get it to fit here best I can, rather than altering that. Right, good. I don't know. Hang on, what I should do before. Yeah, so that distance should not be any different. It just doesn't want to sit down. This is 394, not 395. Somebody got a problem with dental jokes? I just can't handle it. All right, Eric, it certainly looks like the top two mounting holes are really close. They probably need to be moved out a shade, whatever that means. They need to be moved. The mounting holes need to be slightly further apart. Probably a millimeter each way. A millimeter that way and a millimeter that way. Actually, Eric, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I can do? Is, well, let's see. Does this fit? Yeah. So this literally goes down and sits. So these spots here and here are literally stops for this and that. So why am I having to adjust these so much? Yeah, I don't have clay, Ken, so I'm going to have to rely on the old paper here. Well, I'm not super impressed with the OEM, if that's what you're saying, Terry. But it could just slide in and sit, but it doesn't. It kind of floats and sort of sits. Okay, I've relieved the underside of this enough that it goes. Yeah, that's essentially home. And as it turns out, the supports on either side are not, they're not really in the way. So if that goes home like that, will it go home on this one? Maybe. Here we go. Seems fine right there to me. No, I didn't forget the spacers. These spacers are too small. I was using this for marking. Okay, so there it is. And the thing is, I had cut down these pylons a bit because I had thought that by dropping the cylinder head you needed to do that. Apparently you don't. I don't know why, but apparently you don't. I'll tell you what, it feels stout. Is the throat nice and smooth? Not exactly, no. But, you know, anybody that's using this, I don't think, anybody that gets this, I don't think they'd exactly have a problem with grinding on this or smoothing it themselves, you know? It would be a whole lot better if it was smooth, but I don't know if that's exactly possible, you know? I might be able to get some type of grind, I don't know, whatever in there just to. How's the filter fit? All right, let's look. I guess we need the top too, huh? The color of money. Looks like money because he is money. Yeah, that goes on there fine. So if I had to say, I think it's a hair short. EPA elbow. So this hits here. Eric, can you see in here? I think if you raise the from the flange, if you raise it 1/8 of an inch, I think you'll have plenty of room. And Ken, the Play-Doh's probably all dried out by now. From the flange up, just bring that up 1/8 of an inch. I think it'll be perfect. Or better yet, hang on. No, I don't think you can straight raise it because this is hitting in the front here. So it actually needs to be tilted back. Yeah, change the angle a bit. Pivot the angle about the center so that this part moves back and this part moves back also. If you tilt it like that, literally just pivot it so that this moves up 1/8 of an inch. It's probably more than 3 degrees. I mean, this was off by at least 1/8 of an inch here because it was hitting here. And it's laying right on this. You know? And just to get it to fit, yeah, about 1/8 of an inch. 3 millimeters. An actual 90. I don't know because I don't know if you're going to run into the back of this part here, you know? There's a little bit of play. The back part has to come down. Probably by 3 millimeters. I don't know. Can you see this? Yeah, little steps. Let's get rid of this. There. Yeah, so you can see how the filter itself is hitting here. Right in here is about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3 millimeters off. And this, if this is fully seated there, you know, the whole thing needs to like lay back a bit. You know, you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying here. Not much. I mean, it's close. It's really close. I mean, the saw would probably run as it sits, but it's closer than anybody's gotten so far, you know? Let's pull this off and we'll look at it on the filter here. Brandon, no. How many times have I said that? How many times? We wouldn't be doing all this if we could. So the 395 elbow uses the wrong bolts. That's the problem. So it uses M4 instead of M5, and you have to really kind of bugger it to get it to fit right. So yeah, the other thing with these is that this lip gets caught on that. So if this whole thing lays back a bit, then, a little bit, then it'll be a whole lot easier to get that over the lip. Are we buffering? Sorry. Yeah, lay it back, bring it up a hair, and it'll be perfect. That's the thing with the 394s. These, if you want to use them for milling, a lot of people want this filter, and this filter is still available. These filters are still available. They fit on both the 394 and 395, assuming you have the elbow, but the elbow is not available. And butchering the 395 to get it to fit doesn't work. So, Eric, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ship this back, I think, and I'm going to ship you this part also, because it'll allow you to get better fitment internally. D. Hamby, what's going on? All right, let's see how much, because I cranked on this a bit. Let's see how badly we actually need inserts. The answer is maybe. So I'm actually just going to ship this off. So I'll ship you the carburetor base, and you'll be able to see what's going on here. Just from looking at that, I don't think you're going to crack the plastic. It would be nice to have reinforcement. Change the 362 to a 461. Did it work? No, there's no gasket that goes between here and the carburetor. You don't really need one. Coming back to you, Eric. And you know what? I'm going to throw this in there too because I happen to pick up a couple more. So I'll put that back there too just so you have it. Eric, is there anything else you want me to throw in the box here? I mean, the diameter of this seems fine, so I'm not really worried about that. D-Hamby, I haven't been doing much cutting either, so unfortunately. Hey, throwing stuff again. .34 millimeters. Great. All right, I will. This will go out Monday, Eric. Yeah, no, I could ship them the whole saw, huh, Terry? I don't think we need to do that. At least not this go around. You know what? I guess let's do this. For your next assignment. What else did I need 3D printed? Might as well just throw a bunch of stuff in the box here. We'll start with that. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. What way can you read garbage? Yes. Send it all to Eric. Yeah, this Eric, this is, I mean, there's a lot of little stuff to do here, but this is awesome. Don't misconstrue any of my remarks to think anything but. This is, some of the coolest stuff ever because to be able to do this, to be able to get parts, to be able to, do this, it's just awesome. It's just awesome. Okay, so for the guys that are listening, so I'm going to stick my serious hat on for a second, okay, guys? For the guys that are listening, to my crew, to the guys that have been hanging out with me for a while, and to Eric, okay? So this is kind of for everybody. I've got my serious hat on. So, like I've done with the chainsaw tools, with everybody that has worked on the chainsaw tools, I have simply asked them to not sell them privately. I'm going to do the same with Eric. And the reason is because it doesn't benefit him to sell these privately, mostly because I'm buying in bulk. And I'm going to pay for the design and all that stuff, and I'm going to do the testing and all that. This is a tacit agreement to not sell things privately. You sell these will get sold through me. I'm very specifically not going after patents. I'm not going after anything like that. I'm not going after intellectual property of any kind. I want to make these as available to the chainsaw community as possible. I don't want to step on toes, but I also don't want to be undercut. I don't think it's right. Now, I gave, and I'll just say it, I gave Nick the opportunity to 3D print these, and he did not take it. He was busy with other stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, that gives me, free reign to get these made. I will very carefully and gently ask people to not undercut me here. This is, Eric is going to put a lot of work into this, and I'm going to put a lot of work into this, getting this going. I've got how do I say this? With the tools, if I don't make a certain amount of money on the tools, it literally isn't worth it for me to go to the post office, and the whole thing comes to a screeching halt. Um, with the tools, it's been years of chainsaws, and nobody's come up with what I came up with. Nobody. Walt certainly has his own uh, design and whatnot, but from what I've seen, at least in his videos, he cannot do the volume. And anybody and everybody that's tried my tools loves them. Again, I've specifically not gone after patents because I do want to share the information as much as possible. But I have if people want to produce their own, that's fine, but I'm not giving away plans. With this 3D printed stuff, if I've put in the legwork and the work here, and Eric has clearly put in the work, I'm going to front the money. I'm going to front the money for the design stuff, and I'm going to front Eric the money for making these in bulk. So, I'm not going to be the super happiest of guy if somebody's undercutting me. If that makes sense. So, anybody have any comments? I won't get into trouble with Husqvarna, Terry. I don't know. I don't think so because they're no longer producing it. So I don't see what the problem would be. And if I'm producing 100 units at a time, what do they care? You know, the the Chinese aren't producing it either. So it's not even worth it for them to produce these, and they probably produce these 10,000 at a time. Larry, I was wondering the same thing. Is there going to be repercussions for re-popping parts that are no longer available? I can't imagine. I mean, in the quantities that I'm going to have and be dealing with, I can't imagine Husky's going to care. Basically, Husky has deemed that this is not marketable. That's why they discontinued it. So if they've deemed that it's not marketable, then why would they get upset if somebody is 3D printing a few of these? I can't imagine. I don't foresee this becoming enormous business. I see this as a side gig for me, for anybody that works with me, the machinists, Eric, whoever. This ends up being a side gig. You make a few bucks on the side. That's it. And we get, hopefully a happy chainsaw community. One thing I'll mention, and Eric hasn't quoted me a price on these yet, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I have a price in my head as to what to sell these at. But one thing that drives me crazy is selling singles, selling single parts. So there is probably going to be a significant premium on single parts as opposed to buying multiples. There will be significant discounts for people that end up buying multiple parts. Yeah, Terry, I think this is going to sell a lot, and I tried to tell Nick that too, and I guess he just didn't have the time to go for it, but his focus is other things. D Hamby, thanks. I was also thinking about this. Like, there are guys that go on Buckin's channel, and Buckin keeps getting $2, $5, $10, $20 from random people all over the world all the time. People are just throwing money at the guy. I don't. I'm not going to do that. As of right now, I'm not going to set up my channel like that. Just not there, I'd rather people that throw money at me actually get something out of it. And I think the price of the tools is really reasonable. The price of these is probably going to be a little bit on the steep side, but you know what? For the fact that you cannot buy these readily from any other source. Andreas, how's it going? Terry, I'll buy one out of the 394. Thanks, Terry. It's okay. If you're gonna use them, buy them. That's great. You don't have to do that. I had guys that bought toolkits just because they like tools, not even because they were gonna use them. And I was like, what? Okay. It's just the way life is. Some people just like that sort of stuff. US Buckin gives me the creeps sometimes. Buckin's a maniac. You're right. He just is. And you know what? He appeals to a lot of people. So I can't watch him for half an hour on end. I can't do it. I can poke in and see what he's doing. But everybody, everybody and their brother's subscribing to Buckin. So whatever, good for him. Terry, you need to buy Bass 394. Everybody needs to buy my 394s. I've got two of them. You never know when you might need one. Yeah, well, if you don't got one and you need one, it's a rough day. You need like 2 cuts a day with a 394 and you're good. Who did you get your 394 cases? I got them from HL Supply, Larry. Again, I have a dealer account through HL Supply, so they were a little bit less expensive, but I know you can never get them on the phone, right? I just got them through the website, so. Edwin's late. You missed all the fun, Edwin. Okay, should we show him? And Gerbit's here. Speaking of Buck and groupies, I got Buck and groupies here. It's all right. So this is a prototype 394 Airhorn that Eric Briggs did, and we are indeed planning on selling these. These are no longer made. We're going to make them. Important part. What I'm going to do right now after I'm done is I'm going to go up to my computer and get the dimensions on the sleeves and see specifically if I can get my guy to get me a quote on like 1,000 of them and see what happens. Yeah, admittedly, an aluminum version of that would be awesome, but there's really no need. As long as we can get it 3D printed, it'll be fine. They're going to be 3D printed out of ABS plastic. Yeah, I think it would be completely sick to get it um, 3D milled out of a chunk of aluminum. That would be really, really cool. I just don't, I don't know what that would take. It would be a lot. Matt, are you helping people pro bono? Of course you are through this channel. We may want to give you a little something to help this community. D. Hamby, I appreciate it. The only thing that I ask is basically, if you need tools, buy tools. If you need stuff from HL Supply, please use my link. It's not in my live videos, but it's in most of my like the bolt for bolt videos. If you go to the description, you click on my link, I get credit from HL Supply. Um, and if I'm gonna sell 3D printed parts, please buy in that case. You don't need to send me super chats or whatever. The same thing with that Buckin does. I don't need that. I'm good. I appreciate the thought though. What's a Buckin groupie? You are Gerbit. Ask AVE. He has a Haas. Yeah, I know. Actually, an aluminum intake block might actually transmit too much heat. Just a thought. I don't know. My machinist that's been doing the tools actually has uh, mills that would probably mill it out of a chunk of aluminum. That wouldn't be a problem. It's a matter of how long would it take to program that. And they would be pricey. I can imagine a cost on those. I don't know. He'd probably want at least 100 at a time, and I can imagine the retail on something like that being probably close to $100, just because they're really complex to 3D to 3D machine. I don't have one of these saws, but I buy one. I appreciate it. You guys are funny. Yes, if you milled the intake block out of aluminum, I don't know. It might transmit too much heat. And if it transmits too much heat, then you end up with gas in the car. You have hot start problems, I think. So I don't know. That's why they ended up putting on the 262 XPs. They ended up putting these plastic sleeves on the carburetor bolts. I'm pretty sure that's why, is because the bolts were transmitting heat to the carburetor. The inserts are have a head on them. They do have a flange, yeah. Take care, D Hamby. What's going on? Is it now bad to watch back at? No, of course not, Jer, but I'm not saying that. You missed the joke. It's okay. No, I'm not knocking Bucking. We were just comparing one of the not bad, sad. The we were just comparing um
Old Buckin has an old 394. You might send him one as many subs as he has. Uh, okay, so let's bring up that topic because that is relevant. Um, okay, so back to Jerbett's comment, and then we're going to bring that topic up. So, um, no, we're not knocking Buckin. That wasn't the idea, but he gets money from what he calls super chats from all kinds of people. $2, $5, $10 from all over the world. And I'm just saying that I'm not doing that. The only thing that I ask people to do is if they want to support the channel, then they can, purchase my tools. They can purchase 3D printed stuff once we get that going, or click on the link to HL Supply if they need something. I'm not saying you have to click on the link and go there and buy stuff, but if you do need something and you click on my affiliate link for HL Supply, then I do get credit for that. So that's all that I'm saying there. Stream is breaking up and it's bedtime. Andreas, does that make sense? Is that okay? I think Buckin prefers low tops, 300 both low. Maybe he might. They just might be what he has. Okay, so 19 people here, so I might as well say this. Buckin is getting cool stuff on his channel all the time. He gets packages from people and does unboxings and all that stuff all the time. I figured I'd do a little bit of advertising, and I shipped him international express mail a set of tools. He sent me a thank you, so I do have a note there, but he did not unbox them on camera. And I'm at least a little bit disappointed with that because that's a significant amount of dollars that went down the toilet there. Not this bad way to put it. That's not the way to put it. I don't begrudge Buckin a set of tools, but at least part of the idea in my, forgive me for saying that, at least part of the idea in my mind was not just aimed at generosity, but also aimed at a little bit at least at advertising and getting the word out about the tools to the rest of the chainsaw community. And frankly, Buckin has a significant audience that can help get the word out to the chainsaw community that I have tools for sale. And unfortunately, those did not get the advertising. The kind of the biggest point of that was getting a little bit more exposure. And I at least feel a little bit bad because, he gets a lot of boxes from a lot of people and credits a lot of people with sending him some stuff. And these tools can literally change the chainsaw community significantly. And again, I'm not really knocking the axe heads and whatnot that he gets, but axe heads are axe heads, and as unique and special as they might be, it's still not going to change the chainsaw community like that set of tools would. And I sent this to him a couple months ago, and what at least part of it was that it just didn't get unboxed live. That was one problem. The other problem is I think he busted his phone. So all the videos that might have been on the phone got lost, and I think that was one of them. And I hate pressing it with him because I don't want to seem like too much of a jerk for doing a little bit of advertising. And I do want to be generous, and I did want to be generous, and I did want to at least say, hey, here's a set of tools, and you guys understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be ungenerous, but it comes off as ungenerous, and that's not how I want to be. I've sent 2 sets of tools out now without charging for them. Only 2. And a third if you count the one for the raffle, for a raffle. Am I being bad? I mean, guys, hit me up. Did I do something wrong? Do I have the wrong attitude about this? I was just really, really bummed that, because it cost $60 just to ship the tools. It was actually more than that. It was more than $60 just on shipping the tools. And I figured at least they'd get, he'd be like, holy cow, somebody shipped this express mail from Connecticut. I got to open this live. And it didn't happen. And I don't know. I feel like I kind of got the shaft on that one. It just, again, I don't begrudge Buck a set of tools. He's welcome to use them. Have it, great. I just feel bad that, he opens everybody else's boxes online and mine didn't get opened. Yeah. Let's see. I've been talking too much here. Lately, this video's been so long, and it's been. Yeah, I watch for a few minutes, Terry, and I don't. I can only watch him cutting for so long. Gerbit, you're very welcome. There's no need to send me bucks. It's okay, really. It's all right. Um, I really appreciate it when guys go and buy stuff through HL Supply. Believe me, that's cool, because then I can basically, I just get store credit there, and I can go and get other cool stuff to show you guys. It's part of the rebuilds that I do for the 394s or whatnot. I pick up stuff from them, and they just give me store credit, which is great. Nikki turns out the phone with a bad screen, lost nothing. That email again. With your wishes, never know. Again, Nikki, I emailed him about it and asked him, and I was just I tried to be real gentle about asking, what happened to the video, and he said he was going to look for. He's been too busy. The guy is forever busy. There's just no way that he'd ever. I'm too small potatoes. That package was too small potatoes to even consider. It just wasn't important. It's the only way that I can think about it. It just wasn't important enough. Would Bucket know what they? I sent a note. It was short and sweet. I sent a short and sweet note that he could read, which he always does. He reads the note and then looks at the tools. There was a note in there, short and sweet, that he could read. That would have been, an easy plug. He wouldn't have to have done much. Nope. Larry, take care. Have a good one, okay? I had a few emails exchanged back and forth with Buckin, but he's got, how many thousands of emails a day does he field? So I feel bad that I basically spent, I see him open up these little packages, maybe a single axe head, whatever, and he just gets so super excited about that sort of stuff. And I spent a lot of money getting that to him, like super fast. I was just like, you know what, I got to get this to him. Um, it didn't feel good, you know? Doesn't feel good. Whatever, maybe if I came at it from a different standpoint and just was trying to be generous, it would just come off differently. And maybe he knows that I was advertising and disapproves. Maybe. I don't know. But that's the thing, though. Like YouTube is all advertising. That's what it is. That's what that's what all of this is. YouTube functions on advertising. To me, he plays up too much with the camera. Tim, whatever he does works. Whatever he does works. You know, he's got what 50,000 subscribers now. Believe me, that works. It works. Good for him. Sure, but yeah, you're right. It probably was just bad timing. I sent it at the wrong time or something like that. I just thought that a nice big box with priority mail, express mail, international would be something that would be like, holy cow, this I got to do, you know? I guess not. Yeah, but he's gotten shout outs too. Yeah, you're right. You know, other people give him shout outs, and it's nice if he can return the favor. Threaded rods to hang gates with. No, he knows what they were. We did have a very short email exchange. I did not want to get into a long email with him because I know he's busy. Um, he was appreciative. There's no question. It's just that the videos never got made. Jervis right. It's probably bad timing. If I catch anybody hanging gates, make him an authorized reseller. Hmm. Send a big box of tools. Problem is he's in Canada, so normally I put all the tools in these primary priority mail bags. I don't know how that works with Canada. You know. So yeah, so I really wasn't gonna mention the whole bucking shipping this stuff. I wasn't gonna mention it because I was really hoping that I could just be like, "Hey guys, surprise!" You know, we just added a bunch of people to the community. It'd be great. Nope. I tried. I really did. I thought I put my best foot forward there, and it didn't happen. So, oh well. It's okay, Nicky. You're cool. It's all right. We're we're good. If I catch anybody hanging gate, my rods. What does HL think, Tim? Okay, so so funny thing about that. What does HL think about my tools? So I have talked numerous times with the president of HL Supplies, Bruce. I've talked with him numerous times. He actually tried to get plans for the tools to send to China so that they could, or Taiwan or wherever, so that he could get quotes so that HL Supply could start selling the tools. That never materialized. Bruce is crazy busy, so just never happened. Um, but so for the raffle, okay, for the raffle that I entered a set of tools in the raffle. There was I forget what it was for. It might have been for Tree Monkey. I think it was for Tree Monkey after his heart attack. Somebody we did a raffle for him. So I entered the tools in the raffle, and wouldn't you know it, Bruce from HL Supply was the one that picked my set of tools. So I sent him a set of tools, and I told Bruce, I'm like, Bruce, I would have sent you a set of tools for nothing. Come on, you know. You guys have been generous with me. If you wanted a set, you just ask. So he picked it out of the raffle anyway. I thought that was really funny. So he loves them. It is my understanding that they do use them to do rebuilds, and I know that HL Supply went and became a Husky dealer, and as far as I know, they are doing service as well as sales down there in Florida. But I have not talked with Bruce in a while, so I just thought it was funny. It was like, Bruce, you guys have been good to me. You could have just asked. I would have sent you a free set. Whatever. So anyway, I better go. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm gonna go enjoy the afternoon. Maybe focus on another cup of coffee. And thanks everybody for being so supportive. If there's a dissenting opinion, I do want to hear it. But I thank everybody for being supportive. Um, you know, my goals right now, I got to get these 394s sold. Eventually we got to get these 394 intake elbows prototype solid. And once we have that, we're going to be in great shape because I think this 3D printing stuff is really going to take off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pick the products that I think are relevant, and take it from there. And if Eric is on board, then that's awesome. Then we'll go on an adventure here. No, just a link on his channel. Keep trying to plug them, bud. I'm sure they'll take off there. Thanks, Dribbit. Do appreciate it. I really do hope that it does take off too. I can't handle a lot, so I don't need to take it. This doesn't need. I don't need to be the next Amazon, but sell a few things here or there would be pretty cool. With a commission, he does nothing but cash a check. Take care, Brandon. Have a good one. Terry, you're welcome. James, bye. Eric says, let's do it. Cool. So, anyway, thanks, guys. Everybody, have a very safe weekend. A great weekend. Don't forget to have a cup of coffee. And we're going to do this thing, okay?